Hey, this is Rod Cleef, and you are listening to the Mailbox Money Show with Bronson Hill.
Okay, so sometimes people ask me, how did you change your life? How did you leave a corporate job where you're making a couple hundred K a year, replace your income, be able to 20x your net worth? How did you do all that? How did that actually happen? Well, it happened really through having a different mindset. Because for me, I was stuck in a mindset that this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going to be, and I had trouble reaching to the next level. How do you actually get to that next level? And my guest today, Vinney, is Vinney Chopra, is incredible. He has over 8,500 multifamily units, is doing stuff in residential assisted living and self storage. But really, the thing that impresses me the most is his positivity. He's found a way from, coming with $7 from India in 1971 and been married now 42 years, has done all kinds of things, is giving back in lots of ways. And anytime I'm around somebody who's super positive, I always try to find a way to learn from them, to be around them. So I think it's just, you're going to get so much out of this episode. We'd love to hear personally from you what you got out of it. We planned to talk about something else. Then we started talking about positivity. It was just positivity just came through everywhere. So I would love to know if you're a fan of Vinney and what you get out of this, but I got so much out of it. Can't wait to share this episode with you. All right, Vinney, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bronson. It's always a pleasure to be with you, brother. You bring so much energy, so much excitement. And I know whenever we talk, we just have so much great discussions.
Yeah, I feel like, man, yeah, you get around a positive person like you, Vinney. You're probably the most positive person that I know, and I just love it because I just feed off of it. You get around somebody and their face is just, oh, saddled, like you're just always bringing the positivity. And you wrote the book on positivity, really. So show them your book there, Vinney. You
Yes.
got your book there
Oh,
too.
yeah.
He's
Positivity
got,
brings profitability. My wife actually for 44 years, we've been married 44 years
wow,
this year,
amazing.
and I'm 72, by the way. I don't know if I
Yeah.
told you. I just turned
You're
72, and I
72 going on
feel
27, brother. You're 72. You look good. So
opposite.
Benjamin Button.
But she's the inspiration for this book.
Oh,
She says,
wow.
I've been married to you. This was 4 years back. And she liked my apartment syndication book. She read it. She says, that's great, but it's for limited audience, she said.
Yeah.
She says positivity is for everybody. So
Yeah.
write a book on positivity. That's what I did. Next morning, I started writing. Then I
Yeah.
wrote it quickly. It didn't I didn't like it. Can you believe it? And she told me she didn't like it either. So this year I revised it. I went back
Okay.
into it, and now we have the new one.
Now you okay? We gotta get the new one. That's great. Well, let's talk a little bit about positivity for a minute. Then we're gonna get into residential assisted living. You've had thousands
Yeah,
of multifamily units. You've been an operator for a long time. You're also in California, but invest in other states like we do. You invest in other
yeah.
places. But tell me a little bit about. I know you came, years ago. You've told your story on this show, but tell it again. You came with, was it like $7 in your pocket and a smile, and
Yeah,
that's all you had, and now you're, Uber. You've done very well. But just to give a little bit of your background,
totally,
Vinny.
totally. I grew up very humble, man. Six siblings, wow, and mom
Wow.
and dad, eight people in one bedroom apartment.
Wow.
And we never had any kind of automobile or anything, no television, no refrigerator, no cell phones. Back then, we never had them. Just a bicycle and public transportation. That's where I grew
Yeah.
up. Did my engineering, mechanical engineering, and I always
Mm.
wanted to be a manager. Then somebody told me there, hey, you got to have a MBA, Masters in Business Administration. So I came to this country with that dream of doing MBA at George Washington University. My uncle sponsored me first semester, and I didn't want to be a burden on him, right? $7 only I had in my pocket. So then I went to sell books door to door. Oh my gosh, selling Bibles and
Yeah.
encyclopedias,
Bibles.
educational
Yeah.
books for 3 summers. I still remember I bought my first car for $700, and I'll buy for $4.95 oil and change the oil. It just came up
Wow.
last week.
Yeah.
And with the grace of God, we moved to California when I
Yeah.
got married 44 years back. And our friends were in real estate. See, that's the thing. Peer group really helps
Yeah.
you a lot. Helps
Yeah.
you a lot.
You're the average
They
of the
were
five
they
people you spend the most time with. So you were
got it.
fortunate to get around some
You
amazing
got it.
people in real estate. Wow. Okay.
That's the key thing. They said, Vinny, save money. I was making only $40,000 a year. I remember. They said,
Yeah.
save some money and buy a home. I bought for 11,500, 65,500 home. We put down payment, right? 20% or whatever it was. 65,500. Brand new home we bought in
Yeah.
Modesto, California.
Right.
It went to 325,000.
Wow.
500%. I did that like anybody will do. I
Yeah.
took out the money, from the dead equity. Somebody
Yeah.
told me then, and then we bought homes all over for
Mm,
30,000 down, 50,000, all that. Anyway, rest
amazing.
is history. But then we've been doing single family home for a long time,
Yeah.
like most of the people in our circle, your circle, but they were not cash flowing that good. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have a problem here, there
Yeah.
goes your cash flow. So
Yeah.
about 10, 20 years back, I would say 2004, 20 years back, literally this year, I became a broker in California. And I was doing a motivational speaking engagements on
I
stages,
can see
everything.
that. I can see that. You're very inspiring. So I can just Yeah.
So then, I said I want to do something better. Commercial. I looked into leasing, maybe becoming a leaser for office buildings and all that to make more money, right?
Yeah.
I didn't go into it, but multifamily, somebody shared with me, Vinny, if you buy apartments, you don't have to worry about single family homes. I thank that person today, right there.
Yeah.
Then I
Yeah.
said, okay, who's the guru? Guess what? And I found two books on Amazon from David Lindahl. I don't know if
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
David
Yeah. I know
Lindahl.
Dave. Yeah, I know him personally. Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine, very personal friend now. I'm one of his bright students. So
Mm.
I learned him. Then I saw him in San Francisco at a free webinar, you know. Then I paid a lot of money, 30,000, 40,000, whatever. Took my teams of people there, also boot camps. That's my start. And
Yeah.
with starting a duplex to 14 units to 8,500 units,
Wow.
and now we have sold majority of it at the peak. We went to over 1.2 billion, 1.3 billion
Yeah.
total. Now we are down to only 300 or 275 million, I think, because we
Yeah.
sold so much. That's
Wow.
my little story.
Oh, I love it, man. No, it's super inspirational. I mean, you were motivational speaking before you started doing all the multifamilies, but a couple of things I want to touch on. I've heard that story so many times. I have a cousin who's actually in California as well, who started
Yeah.
with a duplex and then he went up. Now he's over a couple thousand units, and just it's just amazing, just the snowball
Yeah.
effect of equity and real estate and just using debt to kind of
Yes.
go. So that's congrats on all the success, man. And then also for you, I'm curious with the roots of the positivity for you, right? That have you always been this
Yes.
positive person, or did you get that from your parents, or is it just something you got a hold of some personal development stuff, or how did you get a hold of that?
Very nice. What you're asking me is so pointed. Actually, a lot of student, fellow student, my fellow friends in India, they tell me, Vinny, you were a goal-oriented person.
Yeah.
You were very goal-oriented. I don't know if I was positive. I was very thin. I know a lot of people were telling me I'm a pencil. I remember that. There are a lot of bashing going on, but
Okay.
I don't know if it affected me or not, but I started reading positive things back then.
Yeah.
Then when I came to USA, I even read more positive things. So I'm a product of listening and watching and reading all these Jim Rohn and
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill and
Yeah.
Zig Ziglar and all those Wayne Dyer. I mean, so
Right.
many great people. I feel they are my mentors. They don't know
Mm.
me. Zig Ziglar I met two
Okay.
times. Yeah, personally, and what a great gentleman
Yeah.
and excitement. I mean, that's what I think I just kind of caught that by
Yeah.
reading and listening that if you become enthusiastic, people like you more. If you're
Yeah.
more positive, people like you more and they
Yeah.
listen to you more.
Yeah. It's funny. I went to this seminar. It was years ago when I was working in medical sales. It was probably
Uh-huh.
10 years ago. And actually 10 years ago this year. And I was with I it was a it was a guy based out of Seattle. I can't remember. It was called Peak Performance or something. It was like a
Mm.
meditations or affirmations things that you would do.
Oh, Lou Tice?
Yes, Lou Tice, Lou Tice. So it wasn't
Hold
him.
on.
It wasn't him, but
Lou
it was.
Tice was brought into Saddlebrook in Florida by my motivational company.
Yeah.
My wife and I went through 7 days of courses. The
Okay.
whole company did. We
Yeah.
spent
Yeah. Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of dollars. Lou
Wow.
Tice came and gave us this big book binder.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So we did something similar. We had a 2 day one. It was a boss's boss. I was in medical device sales. I was selling to doctors, and
Hmm.
it was interesting. Each person had a partner. So I was a little bit, optimistic and biased. I was all excited and whatever. And the guy I was with was as excited as I was. He was really negative on us. This is the cheesiest, silliest thing ever, whatever. And so then finally we switched partners at lunch or the first day or the next day or something. And but I realized for me that was something that really changed my life. And that's something as I'm writing my second book now called Rich Brain, which is
Mhm.
basically about the habits and the mindset around wealth. And a
Mhm.
lot of it's around positivity or just having a worthiness around wealth or that you
Mhm.
deserve it. And I
Mhm.
think for you, I want to say this about you, Vinny. I see, the Zig Ziglar quote of you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other
Enough
people get what they want.
get what you
And so if
want.
you commit yourself to just helping
Yeah.
people and you're excited about it, do you have like a routine you do in the morning? Do you say like some
I do.
affirmations or
I
you kind of
do. I
look in the mirror?
do.
Yeah.
I do.
Because when I
Totally.
talk to you, man, it's like it like just you can see it just comes from here. So for anybody listening, it's like you see people and like, oh, these people are kind of crazy, whatever. Almost every person that's like super high net worth or doing successful
Yes.
things has this some kind of practice
Yeah.
that they do.
Yeah.
And they may not
Miracle
show that
morning.
they're not
Miracle
smiling, they're excited, but
morning.
they're focused on their goals and
Yes.
they're talking about they're visualizing themselves. And so that's what
Mhm.
you do.
I do. Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod wrote that book, you know. It's so
Yeah. Miracle
important
Morning.
to
Yeah.
true north, right? Like
Yeah.
our Stephen Covey talks about that. It's so important in the morning we really be ourselves and be thinking and thanking. Gratitude is big thing. Gratitude giving for the day before or week or whatever for everybody in our my life, and then repositioning myself to look at all the different appointments I have and then to really bring the best of my best every day, and then exercise and meditation. So
Yeah.
those are very, very important things.
Yeah. What do you think stops people from being positive? Like, what's the biggest hindrance to that, do you think?
I think the stresses in life,
Yeah.
they really are so much in our mind that we don't have time to think otherwise.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I find our brain is so small, and we
Yeah.
got to be always projecting positivity every time we get a chance. The best thing I tell everybody is to just see a YouTube video every day. Just look on your app on your phone and just say positivity, just like that. And then look at the shortest video and just watch it. If you like that video, take that link, put it in your yellow pad or in under motivation
Yeah.
contact. Just set up a contact motivation, and then you put in URL that link.
Oh, I
So
love it.
that's my little hack. I
Yeah.
love this. If you look
Yeah.
in my yellow pages, I have so many pinned yellow pads in my iPhone, and all of them have different headings, and
Okay.
they have different links in
Yeah.
those.
I love it. So you find ways to get yourself motivated through resources. We're really at a time now too, especially the last 20 years. Everything's available. I mean, if you want to create things, you want to, I mean, now I have I call them whisperings, but these things I've created for myself and I read them each morning or
Mhm.
I just have them memorized now and they're on my phone on the
Yes.
app, the Keynote app for an iPhone. I can just go through and
Mhm.
it's a little presentation. It's like those things are so powerful because it's like
They are.
with your words, you actually create what exists. And
Totally.
so there's a lot of spiritual
Totally.
principles there too of like if I
Mhm.
start speaking things out, it's like words do become things. They become
They
actual
become
physical things.
actually
And
what
so
we think, what we believe, we
yeah,
achieve. We think about that
yeah,
always, manifestation. And
yeah,
law of attraction is very big. And, Rhonda Burns wrote the book. Of course, even in 1935, they wrote, so many things are about law of attraction. It's so important. These
yeah,
universal laws are happening around us, whether we believe in them or we don't believe in them. So it's
yeah.
better to believe in them than as much we'll be thinking positive, what we attract is what we are thinking. So
Yeah.
it's so important that we really take time to ourselves to
Yeah.
say life is such. So many challenges are there. Try to put it in a box, but then have that special time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, just the positive time to really be worthy. Self worth is so
Yeah.
important in our,
Yeah.
uh, it's so
Yeah,
important.
they talk actually. That's one of the principles in Rich Brain. I came up with this idea of this wealth
Mhm.
worthiness, and a lot of times
Mm,
people they don't start out
yeah.
with it, but they can develop it over time through little
Yes.
successes. But there's also a way you'll see somebody that has a huge jump from here to there, and a lot of
Mhm.
times it comes because they found a way to create the worthiness on their own. And so I think
Yes.
those
Yes.
whisperings, the thing, and
Yeah.
I found when I start saying the positive things about myself, like for me, as this very personally, I went through a divorce 7 or 8 years ago,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but I
Mm,
felt just no sense of personal worthiness, no sense of self worth. And so I created things around confidence and worthiness and this
mm.
and that. And so then, it didn't happen right away, but as I would say this and I would look at myself, whatever, it even brought up some old things of like things people said or did or whatever. But
Ah,
it forced me to deal with them and say, well, okay, this did happen, this difficult thing, or this person was mean, but I'm still
yes.
worthy of love and belonging. I'm still valuable.
Yes.
I'm still in this place that I deserve a great relationship. I deserve so or to be, walk in the room and feel like I own the room. That's okay.
Yeah.
So I was able to create that through my words. And then I
Mm.
saw this huge jump, like a 20x in my net worth just over a few years, right? And so that
I
stuff will
love it.
happen. And so but with people that I talk to, it's
Yes.
either happened over time for them gradually,
Mhm.
or it starts to. But I think it's with wealth, but it also is in different areas of life, relationships, all different things as well.
I totally agree with you. What you're saying is it's exponential.
Yeah,
And as people do incrementally, it's change of habits. If
yeah,
we really
yeah, totally.
get down to it, it's totally change of habit, not being too much negative one day. And I also say one more thing. What happened 30 seconds back,
Yeah,
nobody can change it.
yeah,
Not even 2 years back, 5 years back, 10 years back, nobody can change it. The big thing is what we can change is this moment.
yeah,
And this moment only we can change.
yeah. That's it. That's it.
And it's up
Yeah,
to us. It's up
yeah,
to us. A lot of us spend so much time in the future. This won't happen. That won't happen. He's going to reject me. This, that. And then we're spending more time in the future and some time in the past, which we cannot change. We can
yeah,
learn from
yeah.
it,
That's it.
but all we can change is today, this moment.
Yeah. Well, I encourage the listeners if we do have another episode with Vinny where we talk about residential
Yeah.
assisted living. So we will refer
Yeah.
back to that. But I actually, I'm going to change the title of this episode, Vinny, to How to Love Your Life because I think it's because that's more
Ah,
important, right? You could have all the money,
so
do
true.
all the investing, but if you don't love being with yourself, what's the
No.
point of that, right? It's no good. So
Yeah, no good.
I just love how you've created for yourself. What are some things that like you're looking forward to, you're creating for yourself now in your family, in your life, in your person? I know at 72 is different than when you're 27, or you're kind of you can kind of see that, hey, I probably lived more life than I have life ahead of me. So how has your perspective changed with this positive attitude over time as you look around and as you look forward?
I'm so glad you're asking. At the peak, we had 158 people every 2 weeks, payroll
Yeah,
for those people, and lots of loans. I was on $365 million loan, neck on the line. Now I have on zero neck on the line because I have some partners in the
yeah,
deals that I have. But the key thing is, you're right. I'm finding my changing is now spending time with family. Like you're traveling a lot. We are
yeah,
traveling also with the family with Neil and Monica and my wife. We went this
yeah.
year 2, 3 trips. Then I got my knee surgery done.
I
Now
love
we
it.
are ready again. So we are planning 2025. Charities are big. But the key thing is that I am really very I don't want to spend a lot of time in the business anymore. I
Yeah,
want to be really using all the productivity tools so that the things can be done much faster. AI, I use
yeah,
Perplexity, I use
yeah,
ChatGPT, Claude, I use Opus Clips, with
yeah,
the editing and all that. And then I use Gamma for my presentations. I use InVideo and all these for all
yeah,
these things. And
yeah,
Descript, I think, is
yeah,
another one we use. So all those productivity tools are here for us to use. So
yeah.
And then I'm very cognizant of my time now, being so young now at 72, what I want to do in next 10 years. So
Yeah.
I'm able to now come down to senior assisted living, which is
Yeah.
residential, which is a low hanging fruit. And then we are giving, director is the one who is in charge of the each home,
Yeah.
and my daughter is very much involved with me
That's
now.
great.
So she's taking over lots of responsibilities.
That's
So
great.
it's been really a wonderful feeling for me to really sit back a little bit and then do some mentoring for other
Yeah.
investors. And now we are going big time into hotels also.
Yeah. You were
Because,
talking about that. Yeah.
yeah, hotels, yeah. I just reached like 1.3 million in four
Wow.
days with seven
Yeah.
investors because we have
Amazing.
so many accredited investors. We are
Yeah.
returning money by the millions. So they
Yeah.
love to keep in touch with us and so forth. We haven't bought much, So I'm
Yeah.
really preparing them now to be ready in 2025. But
Yeah.
we'll buy really some good stuff, which everybody should, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Well, I love it. I love what you're doing. You're setting up your life for yourself. And what I hear from you too is it's not, it's interesting. There's a lot of wonderful people in the real estate world. We know a lot of similar people,
Yes.
amazing
Yes.
people. And I think that having a vision of financial freedom is great and
Yeah.
travel, all things are great. And some people, I think it's more about the having the stuff or the experience. But I think what's most powerful is what you said is we get to change people's lives. We get to help them with
Yes. That's
housing. We
the
get to
thing.
do it with family. We get to impact our community. And I think that that is just so powerful, especially as the older I get, the more I see it, that it's just
Yeah.
like, the time, whether we're, 22 or 72, it's the time is short. We've got a limited amount of
Totally.
time.
So
And
true.
what we do matters. And so I love that what you're doing to create for yourself and for your
Yeah, and the
family. Yeah.
seniors are like 74, right? 78 million baby boomers are
Yeah.
turning every night, like 11,200 statistically, are
Yeah.
turning 65 every night. So it's a 25-year run right now, huge run, where lots and lots of facilities and housing and even the products will be changing to cater to seniors. So I think it's a very good feeling that we could give a great experience to our seniors in our homes and centers that I've been building, like I built in Florida and Virginia and all. But it took
Yeah.
me two years to build them. So I'm
Yeah.
just thinking if I can get a single family home, get it converted quickly, and house 10 or 15 or 16 in, I think it's 16 in Texas, it's Arizona, it's 10, like that.
Yeah.
So I'm
Awesome.
just very passionate to give a good quality product to seniors so that
Yeah.
their families feel very, very homely and also very healthy.
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, Vinny, I so appreciate you, man. Every time I talk with you, I feel better about myself, my life. You just bring the it's like you're right here and you're just like, I don't know, just give me a big hug or something. You're just so warm and inviting. And ever since I first met you, I've so appreciated that. So I just really am grateful for you. What's before we wrap here, I know we've just kind of been talking about, loving your life, but what's one I guess one other tip you'd have for people when it comes to loving their life and developing these positive habits in their life or a place where they really can overcome any adversity.
I would say everybody watching us or listening us, you are the most powerful human being.
Yeah.
See, God created you to come here for a very special purpose.
Yeah.
And you are worthy, as worthy, even more worthy than me and Bronson. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you got to uncover that. If you are in the midst of very bad, things or situations, every situation passes. I feel like life is a season.
Yeah.
Like we have seasons, 6 seasons, 8 seasons. All our life goes through those. Stresses go through those. So take hold of those in the business sense or wherever or relationships, but work on yourself. See, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Bronson and I work on ourselves and listen to those positive things. So
Yeah.
please, please listen to those podcasts. Don't spend time watching all these bad news and everything. That doesn't do any good for us. So
Yeah.
just making yourself available 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day. Please watch some good positivity YouTubes and listen to some great podcasts.
Yeah, love it, man. Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Just want to honor your, of course, the positivity, all the things you've created for yourself, and it's amazing when you visualize and you do the work. It's not just reading the books, but it's doing the work, and you've obviously done that because your life is. It's like the work comes first, then you see
Yeah,
the fruit, and then you kind of experience that. So it's everybody wants to just have it, but you got to kind of put the work in. So you're doing that regularly, which people don't see. So really incredible. I want to honor you for that.
I appreciate that. I would love to give something very special to
Yeah,
all your audiences
please.
and mine, and that is my all three books which I've written,
Wow.
and digital copies as well as the audible copies and all that. It's at my website, vinneychopra.com,
Okay.
vinneychopra.com/free benefits. So free benefits, if you just say Vinney Chopra, you just say free benefits, Vinney Chopra, Vinney Chopra, it will come up right there and you can download everything there.
Yeah. But
Thank
Vinny,
you.
just so grateful for you, man. I'm looking forward to
Ah,
connecting with you more. I so appreciate your heart
yes.
and the way you're reaching out and the way you're
Ah.
impacting the world. So thanks so much for being here, brother.
Congratulations to you, Bronson. I really want to take the time to thank you for what special, knowledge you are spreading and the masterminds and all the places that you are really affecting so many people. And you're writing two books. One is right there, Fire Yourself, and
Yeah.
the other one, The Rich Brain.
Rich
And
brain. Yeah.
you send me the manuscript, and it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I know people are going to love that. It's
Thanks,
so
man.
important that we really pass the knowledge to others so that they could be growing and developing and like you said, Zig Ziglar, help enough people get what they want, we all then
Mm.
reach our goals.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being here, man. We'll connect real soon. Okay.
We will.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
so much.
All right, so I feel great. I hope you feel good. That was awesome, right? Getting good habits in your life. One thing that I took away from that is just, positivity can help you overcome any challenge, right? Any challenge you go through, it's so important you look at how your words and how your actions line up. Are you actually thinking the things, doing the things, speaking the things that you want? Because if you're not, you're not creating those things that you want. One thing that I've really realized is that words have creative power. Tony Robbins, all the motivational people talk about this, right? If I speak something into the world, it actually becomes a thing. It becomes a real thing. I use language to describe it. So I've described myself in 5 years. I have this amount of net worth. I'm in this kind of health. I have this kind of relationship. And it can create for you this amazing thing that all of a sudden you see it and it actually happens in your life. And so again, my book, Rich Brain, that's coming out this year, you're going to see this is basically that 2,500 interviews. People have this thing around worthiness and around wealth. And so I just really want to encourage you, if you don't have any habits around how you see yourself, what you say to yourself, you can create those. There's a lot of things out there. You can search on YouTube. You can find books around this. And a great book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He's not my cousin, but he has the same last name. But I really hope that for you, friend. I hope that you're able to create for you the life that you want, the life, the purpose that you want, the sacrifice that you want to be able to give to the world, and you're able to love your life, right? So anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. So grateful for you. If you haven't connected with us, we have our investment group. We'd love to tell you about some of the upcoming deals we're doing. You can find out about the link below or on our website, bronsonequity.com. But overall, just wish you the very best in this season and hope that you have some great things created for you this year. And we look forward to catching you on the next episode of the Mailbox Money Show. You've been listening to the Mailbox Money Podcast. For more free resources, articles, and videos, go to bronsonequity.com. There you can download your copy of the special report, The Single Best Investment Strategy During and After a Pandemic. None of the information shared here is an offer to buy a specific investment, and this is for educational purposes only. Consult your financial, legal, and tax professionals and use your own common sense before making any investment decisions. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to tune in next time for more Mailbox Money.